Hello everyone, this is Tushar Biswas and welcome to the Study Companion. Today we are going to learn about the nutrition, autotrophic nutrition to be more specific. This is the third video on this topic and stay tuned as more information will flow in gradually. Okay, so without any further ado, let's start. Let's begin. What do we like to term it? Autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition. What do we mean by autotrophic nutrition? For people who haven't watched my previous videos on this topic, nutrition, class 10, I would suggest that in the I button, it's over here, right up over here. It will come. Please go and watch it over there. Okay, and come back once you have seen it because you will be requiring concepts of autotrophic nutrition over here. I will still be discussing those previous concepts over here. So people who don't want to leave this video are also welcome to stay over here. No problem. Okay, autotrophic nutrition. What do you mean by autotrophic nutrition? Quick recap. Autotrophic means they can make their own food. They are their own cook. Make own food. They can make their own food. They can make their own food. They do not need to depend on anyone. None of the organisms belonging to autotrophic organism, none of the autotrophic organisms will depend on any other organism for food. Okay, they can make their own food. They can make their own. For example, it's plants. We all know. Then coming to the microscopic level, there are algae, there are bacterias, but something which is common in them, something which is common in them, the main factor why why they have this type of ability is all due to photosynthesis. Now photosynthesis is a process. Now everyone will tell me photosynthesis is a process. Yeah, it's photosynthesis is a process. I too know that. Okay, so like why did I say like it's because of photosynthesis? Of course they are doing photosynthesis and that's the reason they are able to make their own food. Everyone knows this. What substance provides them with the ability to do so, ability to have photosynthesis, to ability to uh, generate, to go through the photosynthesis process? Which pigment do you think helps? Correct, the pigment chlorophyll. The pigment chlorophyll, this pigment, this has various types: chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, etc. For now, we'll just stick to the term chlorophyll, okay? Because it's not required in the syllabus right now. Chlorophyll. I was talking about the CBSE guys, of course. Chlorophyll, chlorophyll. Okay, everyone has copied it down. If you want to copy it down, please do so. Okay, I'll be erasing it. You just pause it and copy it down. For ICC people, if there are any ICC guys over here watching my video, please feel free to comment it down. I will make a dedicated video on this same topic, but this will contain more of ICC informations. Okay, information pertaining to the ICC board. There are something more in ICC boards. Okay, you will get more amount of information while you're in ICSE. We know that. Okay, every one of us know that sometimes there are various patterns of different boards. Okay, so ICC has something more in this topic which I won't be discussing in this video right now. If you people are from ICC batch, anyone over here, even if it's one person, I will surely give a video once you comment it down. Okay, one more thing guys, I'm even ready to make another video on this topic, another one or two video on this topic on different language where the explanation will be in a different language. It can be in Hindi, it can be in Bengali, but you have to comment it down. Okay, you have to comment it until and unless it's commented. I won't be able to do so. Okay, I actually won't do it because based on the viewers' appetite, I will serve them the information, right? Based on the viewer's appetite, I'll serve them information. If the user wants to know more, but by any chance is not able to understand any of the languages, might be able to understand the language also, but wants it in a different language, would be better off. So I will make sure that I'll give that in another language, okay, even if there is one person, or else this whole thing is going in English right now. Autotrophic nutrition. Now let us check it out. What is autotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition, let us define it. Autotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is a type of nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is a type of nutrition where organisms where organisms take in where organisms which organism following organisms following autotrophic nutrition, organisms who are known as autotrophs in nature. Okay, the bacteria, virus, not viruses, bacteria, plants, algae. Okay, autotrophic nutrition is a type of nutrition where organisms make their own food. Organisms obtain inorganic materials from the surroundings. Inorganic materials from the surroundings and and acha, let us define which kind of inorganic material do they obtain. Okay, from their surroundings, like materials like inorganic materials. Acha, let's write this right now. Okay, where organisms obtain inorganic materials like water. Water is inorganic in nature. Like water, like water. Now, what are inorganic compounds? The first question that will come to your mind is inorganic compounds. What are inorganic compounds? Any compound, any compound formed out of carbon, formed out of carbon and hydrogen are known as organic compounds. So, what will inorganic be? Any compound that does not contain carbon hydrogen bonds or is not formed of carbon and hydrogen linked together will be your inorganic compound, right? It will show you. Any compound formed having this bond, carbon directly linked to hydrogen, having this bond, carbon directly linked to hydrogen, is organic in nature. Carbon linked to any element, E for element, okay, element over here. Carbon linked to any element except H, except hydrogen, will be termed as inorganic. Okay, so we can see water. The formula of water is H2O. Formula of water is H2O. So is it organic or is it inorganic? Tell me now. Is it organic or is it inorganic? What do you think it is? Does it contain CH bond? To be more specific, water is like this. Water is like this. This is the bond formation of water. So does it contain C anywhere? See the molecular formula. Does it contain any C? No. Then Can it be organic? No, because it does not even contain C. How can it be organic, right? So what do we have? This thing, carbon bond to any element, or or this is for organic. Carbon bond to any element is inorganic. Even if element, this organic can also be defined as element bonded to element. Now both the E are except carbon. Anyone can be carbon, but the other one has to be except hydrogen. E except C, any one of the E. See, there are two aspects to inorganic compounds. Okay, number one, inorganic compound can have carbon. Inorganic, mind you, inorganic. First element can be carbon, second one can be carbon, or whatever it is. If it does not have this formation, carbon and hydrogen bonded together, then it will be termed as inorganic. Any compound can be any compound. It might not always be carbon also. It can be element bonded to element. For example, sodium bonded to chlorine, sodium chloride. It's possible. NaCl, table salt. See, element bonded to element. But this time, since we have given this as one of the criteria, this second criteria, both the E's will be except C. Except C, of course, because we have given the criteria for C. This is my number one criteria, this is my number two criteria. First criteria, carbon can be present, but there won't be any hydrogen present for inorganic. Right? Correct? Understood? Comment it down if you haven't. I will again try in my next video. I'll help you out again. Okay? And then if this is now false, we can see there is something like NaCl or BaCl2, barium chloride. That's chemistry. I will bring lectures on chemistry a bit later on. BaCl2, BaCl2. This thing, see over here we don't have any carbon, neither do we have hydrogen. So what are these now? What are these now? These are also types of compounds. So what are these? These are inorganic compounds. Compounds that are not formed of carbon and hydrogen bonded together. Compounds not formed of carbon and hydrogen bonded together. Carbon and hydrogen bonded together are your inorganic compounds. Have I made myself clear? Are your inorganic compounds. Is it okay? I hope I have made myself clear. So the second criteria is, first criteria we have checked for carbon. Take this BaCl2 as this example. Now we'll go into the first criteria. Let's see if there is a carbon. Is there no. Then what kind of compound is this? Let's see the second criteria. It's element with element. Now we can write Ba with Cl, 2Cl actually. Cl. So this can be element with element. This is being element with element. Hence we have this. Hence it can be spoken of as inorganic in nature. It can be defined as inorganic. Now if we see something like this, methane, CH4, methane, CH4. Now see, CH4 means carbon, H. See, carbon and hydrogen bonds everywhere. Now what is this kind of compound? Now first check this. Is it CH bond? There is CH bond. Of course, it's organic in nature now. I hope I made myself clear. Okay. Now let's carry on with the definition. Carrying on with the definition. Okay, so now see, autotrophic nutrition is a type of nutrition where organisms obtain inorganic materials like water. Water, now we know water, carbon dioxide. How carbon dioxide, I have said it in my previous part, like when and where to know which one is organic and which one is or inorganic in nature. Carbon dioxide is inorganic. How carbon dioxide CO2 means COC, two bonds, CO2. It's actually like this, it looks like this. Once we come to organic chemistry, of course, I'll be producing organic chemistry videos with further on. It looks like this. See, there is carbon, but there isn't any hydrogen over here. So the next thing you can see is carbon element bond. Which is the element? Element is the oxygen. So carbon element bond you can see over here. Same over here, carbon element bond. So this is true. If this is true, this is inorganic, right? Remember the previous criteria I had asked you to note it down. It was pretty important. That's the reason I had asked. So okay, now carbon dioxide, water, carbon dioxide. Now these are the and various minerals. Minerals, of course. I was missing out on the minerals. Organic material, they obtain inorganic materials like water, carbon dioxide, and minerals. Autotrophic nutrition is a type of nutrition where organisms obtain inorganic materials like this from their surroundings. Of course, from their surroundings, they cannot move about like haywire. They can't move so much that they'll find another habitat, another ecosystem. Of course, it will take time, like not in a flick of a second. Like we can, since uh, we are pretty huge animals. Okay, we can locomote ourselves. We can move from one place to the other. We can change habitats. We can change ecosystems. We just need to travel. Trees, on the other hand, cannot travel. They are fixed on one ecosystem. Bacteria, algae, they stay in specific ecosystem. If they move about themselves, they are in a small ecosystem. If they predate, if they predate means when they're the predators. Now, if they predate on humans, a host, of course, then only they can move fast. But it's rare of a condition because they're autotrophs. They can make their own food, so they will not focus on predation. The ones which can make their own food, just because they can make their own food, then like why give up their energy in predation? Okay, from like water, carbon dioxide, minerals from their surroundings, from the surroundings, and produce food in the form of carbohydrates, produce their food in the form of carbohydrates in the presence, not in the presence first. First will be through the process of photosynthesis, through the process of photosynthesis in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. Okay, now copy this one down. Copy this one down. This is a pretty good definition. This is a pretty good definition, and it will fetch you full marks. Okay, it will fetch you full marks. Okay, why do we define something? We define something to show people that to show our teachers or the people like who are studying about this topic. We define this topic because we brief them. Okay, definition is a briefing of the topic. Okay, definition and briefing on how we define something, how do we explain something to them. So this is much of an explanation. This is not only an explanation, this is also a definition. Okay, this is the mm, best brief you can give to someone. It's proper, it highlights the key factor of a definition is it that it will highlight each and every aspect related to the topic, and it does so. Okay, so please do copy this. Okay, pause the video and copy it down. Next, next, we have seen that they produce their food in the presence of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis occurs due to chlorophyll. We know this, discussed previously in this same video. Photosynthesis is due to chlorophyll. Now, where does the chlorophyll, like, where is the chlorophyll present? Of course, I'll come to that a bit later. Let's first discuss how do they make their food. Like, what are the forms? Okay. Now, remember this. Always remember, food manufacture manufactured in the form of glucose. Now glucose is a simple carbon sugar. Okay, is a one is a not simple carbon, it's a simple sugar. Glucose is a simple sugar that can be easily absorbed in our body. It is easily absorbed. It is a monosaccharide. What is a monosaccharide and stuff, I will discuss a little bit later. Okay, food manufactured in the form of glucose, and then food stored in the form of starch. That's a complex sugar molecule. Glucose is a simple molecule, starch is a complex sugar molecule. Okay, always remember this. Food manufactured in the form of glucose, food stored in the form of starch. So we can say glucose was excess of glucose, the ones which we didn't require, excess of glucose. Okay, formula is C6H12O6. One molecule of glucose formula is C6H12O6, and the molecular formula of starch is C6H10O5. That too in the bracket, and they will contain an N. N. Now what is N? Now what is this N? This N is any whole number. Any whole number can be 1, can be 2, can be 3, can be 4. Depicting what? Depicting what? How many chains are present. Okay. Over here also you can find N. And it's how many present. N is how many present. Okay. N is how many presents. Number of molecules present. N is the number of molecules. Number of molecules. Any whole number, not a fraction, whole number. N. So guys, the N over here symbolizes the number of molecules. We all know that by now. We can also at the base level, that is a class 10 level, we don't require this N. Okay, this will create further confusion amongst the students. It's enough to create confusions. Of course, if you know it, well and good. It's good to have extra knowledge, but it's wrong to have a confusion. Okay, it's wrong to have a confusion. It's not good. It's bad to have a confusion. So one molecule of glucose consists of C6H12O6. This is one single molecule. Similarly, one molecule of starch is C6H10O5. Means there are 6 carbon over here, 10 H and 5 O. Okay, from here you can find there is 6 carbon atoms. So in starch I'm talking about, there are 6 carbons, 10 hydrogen, not carbons, carbon, hydrogen, and 5 oxygen atoms. Now can you do that for glucose? Yeah, please do so. Please do so. Please do so. Come on, you have a bit of time left. Okay, let's go. Let's begin. Check your answer with this. Check your answer with this. Okay. 6C means 6 carbon atoms. 12H means 12 hydrogen atoms. 6O means 6 oxygen atoms are present. These as a whole are present in one molecule of starch and glucose respectively. These are present in one molecule of glucose, shown here by the formula. These are present in one molecule of starch, shown by the formula. Okay, clear? Now we'll follow up the process of photosynthesis. Okay, erasing this out. Okay, if you wanted to, we want to copy it down, rewind back and just pause the video and copy it down, because it's pretty important. You people need it. Okay, this one is the most important thing. I had erased the black lines by mistake. I'm sorry for that. The black lines got erased. I'm sorry for that. Okay, next up we have photosynthesis reaction. The process of photosynthesis, the process that makes its own food, that helps the green plants, the autotrophs, to make their own food. Okay, organisms are known as autotrophs. Organisms, autotrophic organisms are known as autotrophs. Always remember, autotrophs, whatever you like to say. Organisms are autotrophs, or organisms following autotrophic nutrition are autotrophs. Okay, let's focus on the photosynthesis reaction. Now, what happens? If you remember the definition, there are three inorganic materials required. Amongst them, mineral is required for the various cell activities as well as the chloroplast activities. Okay, but I'll come to chloroplast a bit later on. Right now, we are focusing on the thing present inside the chloroplast, the photosynthesis, the pigment chlorophyll. We are focusing on chlorophyll, how chlorophyll helps plant in making their own food. How does it make it autotroph? Let us check it out. Through the process of photosynthesis it does, right, through the process of photosynthesis, following which, if you remember, there are three inorganic compounds. Minerals are required for the various enzymes to work and stuff, and that is something different that you won't learn in class 10 right now. So we'll be focusing on carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide, CO2, and water, H2O. Carbon dioxide and water. Okay. Now, in the presence of sunlight and in the presence of chlorophyll, of course, if chlorophyll is the cook, sunlight is its flame. Okay, of course, a cook cooks on a flame, right? So when a cook is cooking, that person will require the flame to burn so that that person can cook the meal. Chlorophyll is the cook, sunlight is the flame. Okay, what does happen? It makes a glucose molecule, one glucose molecule. No, not one. Wait and watch. Okay, it will make a glucose molecule, C6H12O6. If you remember, plants make food in the presence of chlorophyll. Of course, chlorophyll on the other hand is dependent on sunlight. Chlorophyll is dependent on sunlight, of course, because sunlight activates chlorophyll. If sunlight is present, then only chlorophyll will get activated, or else the chlorophyll will be inactive. Okay, another piece of information: sunlight activates chlorophyll. Sunlight activates chlorophyll. Okay, always remember, sunlight activates chlorophyll. So in the absence of sunlight, chlorophyll will be deactivated, It's our common sense at the back of our mind that is telling us sunlight in the absence, sorry, chlorophyll in the absence of sunlight will get deactivated. If chlorophyll is deactivated, then plant won't be releasing glucose. Plant won't be making its own food. Clear? Plant won't be making its own food. If the plant is not making its own food, and if we remember clearly, in our younger classes we were taught that when plants make food, when there is sunlight in the daytime, plants release oxygen. If you remember, during the day plants release oxygen. It does so with the help of chlorophyll. When this carbon and hydrogen club together to form a sugar, a glucose sugar, okay, the glucose, monosaccharide sugar. Monosaccharide is one carbon sugar. Of course, we will be coming to it a bit later when I teach you organic chemistry. This is one carbon sugar. This is simple sugar. Okay, sorry, not one carbon sugar. My mistake. My mistake. I'm sorry for that. One carbon sugar is something different. Monosaccharide is a type of sugar in which if you break the bonds, there won't be any more sugar left. Monosaccharide is the least form of simple, is the least form of sugar, is the most simplest form of sugar. Break if you break this sugar right now, this is the simplest form, and if you break the simplest form, you won't be left with sugar anymore. You will have two other compounds, but you won't be left with sugar anymore. This will not yield any sugar if you break this. Hence, this is a simple sugar. This is the most simplest form of sugar. Sugar. Okay. After this, there is no sugar in existence. After this, sugar term disappears because the basics of sugar is not no more to be found. Okay. We will come to it a bit later in organic chemistry. Organic chemistry. I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay. Coming back to chlorophyll. Chlorophyll. What does it do? Chlorophyll, in the presence of sunlight, will form this sugar. In this process, it will also release oxygen. It will also release water vapor. Water in the form of vapors. Okay, it's water is not always in vapor form. Water is actually not in vapor. Water is actually not in vapor. Okay, some are given in the form of transpiration, of course. Some are again used back in this process where water is again required. Okay, see, it's generating something which is also being used as a reaction. This is a reactant. These are the reactants, and these are the products. If you remember, if you have studied this part, if you haven't, commented down. I will make a video on this as soon as possible. These are reactants, these are products. So in the product part also, plant is forming a reactant. So water is not used up in excess. Okay, water is not used up in excess. If water is not used up in excess, then what you get? You get something out of the reaction which you again use it in the next reaction. So water is being used in a very environment friendly manner. It's not wasting water. Okay. Carbon dioxide is something which is harming the environment. So it's taking away carbon dioxide. See, in a more broad term, if you see it in a broad side, you can see plants are the recycling, plants are doing the recycling part. It's getting the environment up and steady. During the morning when there is sunlight, it's activating the chlorophyll, and this carbon and hydrogen are together forming one simple sugar known as glucose. Okay, simple sugar, simplest form of sugar, simplest form of sugar is a glucose. Glucose is the simplest form of sugar. Simplest means if you break glucose, you won't be left with sugar anymore. You will be having two other compounds but not sugar. Then there is oxygen, which is again released out, and hydrogen, and not hydrogen, water. Water is again being used up in the next reaction. Okay, so guys, according to IUPAC, now we need to balance this stuff. If we don't balance this, the amount of reactants on this side will not be equal to the products on this side. So guys, it's time to balance the reactions. because the number of reactants should always equal to the number of products we are forming, or else what IUPAC says is that the amount of reactant should always equal the amount of products, or else there will be the destruction of energy. And according to IUPAC, energy is never created, energy is never destroyed, it just changes its form. Okay, energy is never created nor destroyed, so it will always symbolize, if we do not balance it right now, it's going to symbolize that energy has been destroyed. Okay, let's see now, or created rather. 6C with 12H2O will form one molecule of glucose, one molecule of glucose, and now let's balance with molecules of oxygen and water. Now let's see how many oxygen molecules and water molecules. 6C, C6 balanced. Now going for oxygen. 6O2 12, 12 ones are 12, 12 12 24. Here you have 6. Here you have 2. Now if we add 6 to it, it's making 12. 6 and 12 will give me 18. Another 6 will make it 24. So if we add 6 over here, it's going to make it 24. 6 6 12, 12 24. Now 12 2s are 24, 24, 6 2s are 12 over here, and 12 over here will make it 24. Hence the equation is balanced. Okay, done. Photosynthesis clear. So this whole reaction, 6 carbon dioxide, 12 6 carbon dioxide molecules, 12 water molecules. These numbers specify the number of molecules. Number of molecules. Okay. So 6 carbon dioxide molecules, 12 water molecules will form nothing is written in one molecule of glucose, 6 molecule of oxygen, and 6 molecule of water. Again, this 6 molecule of water will get added on over here in the next reaction that is following. This water will get over here, and another 6 water will come, make it 12 water molecules. 6 water molecules are going to come. This is coming from here. Another 6 coming from another reaction of this same kind, because photosynthesis is happening everywhere in the chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast is the hub for photosynthesis. It's where the photosynthesis occurs. I will be doing a part of the I will be drawing the chloroplast and showing you where the chlorophyll lies, where the photosynthesis occurs. So 6 water from here, one reaction, another reaction is happening in somewhere else, from there somewhere else of the thing, that somewhere of the structures, somewhere else, any of the structures housing chlorophyll. The name is thylakoid. Okay, the name is thylakoid. We'll come to it a bit later. Right now, just remember the name. So this 6H2O from this thylakoid, another 6H2O from another part of that same thylakoid, or somewhere different, because chlorophyll is filled in thylakoid. So one chlorophyll molecule doing this work, another one beside it will be doing the same work. So in one, it can be in one thylakoid, it can have effect on in between two thylakoids where they exchange their water molecules. It can happen. Wave. It's There are many combinations like that. So 6H2O molecule, 6 molecules of water will come from one reaction. Another reaction will again make 6 water. It will form 12 water. It will take in carbon dioxide and will generate another glucose molecule. Okay, so that's photosynthesis for you. If there is any doubt after this regarding this topic, please feel free to comment. I will answer your comment as soon as possible, and everyone's comment will be answered too. Okay, I hope everyone understood photosynthesis. Now I'm going to erase it out. If you want to copy that down, please do pause the video and copy it down. Go back, just revert back and copy that down. Okay, just rewind back, not revert back, rewind back and copy that down. Okay.